Welcome, everybody. We have a new friend on the couch today. That's my big boy Piston. You can see how graceful he is getting up on the couch. The blanket stayed perfectly in place where it normally is when dainty Darla hops up there. Yeah, yesterday was his birthday. He turned 5 yesterday. So he's gonna be there lazy on the couch for who knows how long. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. If you are brand new to me, my name is Jacqui Mancuso. I'm joining you guys from Northern Illinois. Feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're joining from. Today we are talking about some astrology, and then we're going to pull some oracle cards. Let's see who's here, Jackie. Greetings, lovelies. It's been a minute. I was here on Friday. All right, we missed one day. Calm your horses. Slow your horses. I don't know those stupid sayings. Jen, good morning. Good morning, Jackie, and all here. Blessed Wednesday. Hello, Lori. Piston, they said happy birthday. Whatever, it's nap time, Mom. Rebecca loves seeing the pups. The other two are in here. The door's open, so people will be in and out. Rachel, good morning from my last few minutes in the Bahamas. That sounds lovely. Hi, Bonnie. Diana, good morning from Portland. Hello, Sophia. Hi, Melinda, Michelle. Adriana from San Diego. Welcome. Slow my roll. Yes, Jackie, even manifestors sometimes have to slow their rolls. Good morning, Sweat, Nicole. Hootening? Look at all these new words. Hootening? Thanks, Christine. Jen, such a handsome boy. He is. He's my big handsome boy. And see, he knows. He's opening his eyes. You're talking about me, right? Good afternoon, Mimi. Hold your horses. Thank you, April. This moon has kicked some booty. Yeah, I guess so. I can't even remember what we talked about. If you didn't come for the full moon session, it's on my YouTube channel, so you can go check out Jacqui Mancuso on YouTube. Just search my name. I have a very unique name, so I think I'm pretty easy to find. Good morning, Michelle, and good afternoon, a different Michelle. Welcome. What else do I want to say? I mean, we had a really big storm last night here in Northern Illinois. I'll talk about it. It's like built into my notes to describe it. But I felt so bad for Piston because he's so afraid of storms. But he got to cuddle extremely close with his mommy and his daddy all night on his birthday. So I think that was exactly what he wanted. Jen, it was awesome. Friday's full moon session. Awesome. Michelle, you guys had some crazy weather in Michigan. Rebecca, my YouTube and my Patreon are two different offerings, I guess. So YouTube, I record everything that I do on Insight Timer, technology allowing, and I post it on my YouTube so you guys can watch the replays. I've also been making more like short content on YouTube also. I'm pretty much using it as like a secondary TikTok. Patreon is where I host like a monthly group. So I'm just finishing up my first year of Embody Astrology, but next month, our first meeting will be March 21st, but starting next month, I'm starting Embody Astrology lunar events. So as a Patreon member, we will have 2 monthly Zoom calls, one a few days before the full moon of the month, one a few days before the new moon of the month. And I will be going much deeper into detail than I do on Insight Timer because I'm not going to be pulling oracle cards, But we're going to do deep dives into the lunar events. And then for each session, I'm going to choose 1 or 2 case studies from the members. So whoever is a part of this group, I have you guys fill out a Google form so I can get just a quick overview of who has what placements where in their chart. And then I'll pull up 1 or 2 people live on the Zoom call. We'll pull up your chart and I'll talk about how that specific lunar event is impacting your specific life. So there's a chance that your chart will be chosen. I'm going to try to keep it as fair as possible. I have a Libra moon. Like, I need the balance. I need the justice. So if I'm going to do my best to make sure that everyone gets live if they can. I don't know how many members are going to join this group. It's a whole thing, but I'm going to do my best to be fair, to make sure that I don't bring the same person up every time. And then even if your chart isn't chosen, you'll get to see how I read other people's charts. So just by watching, just by observing, I know you'll pick up your own skills and you'll be able to apply it to your own chart. Oh, here's Darla. Here's Darla peeking up. She'll probably be around. I don't think anyone else is going to jump on that couch with Piston. He's taken up the whole thing. So yeah, YouTube is just a replay of everything I do here, and then Patreon is a paid monthly subscription, and details are in my link tree. So anything I ever talk about, if you're like, where the heck do I find that? Go into my Insight Timer bio, and my link tree is right there. Actually, maybe that's where I can put this link. Good morning, Jess. Welcome. So this morning, I watched a news clip, which is a very rare occurrence for me. Christopher Plowman, he's the Insight Timer CEO. He's been publicly fighting for the rights of us Insight Timer teachers in the disagreement with Apple, where Apple is taking 30% of teacher donations. And Christopher Plowman has been posting about this on his LinkedIn, and he recently appeared on CNBC to discuss this issue. So I just watched the 7-minute news clip this morning. You can find the link on Christopher Plowman's LinkedIn. And I just wanted to say, firstly, I appreciate his effort to be our voice against the technology monopoly that is Apple Incorporated. And it reminded me why I no longer watch the news. I haven't had cable since 2012, but long story, I just don't. I just get away from that. The news anchor seemed to be phrasing his questions to make Christopher Plowman's argument seem a little crazy, in my opinion. At one point, the anchor was questioning why Plowman was upset with the agreement of the parent company to the smaller company, with the agreement that he's made with Apple to Insight Timer. And the news anchor gave the example, if you were to sell your products at a store and you didn't like the store's consignment fee, then you would go to the other store down the street. And Plowman elegantly replied that there is no other store down the street. If you want to use the digital platform, if you want to get any traction in this new way of connecting, it's like we're at the mercy of Apple. If you want to make any sort of digital app, you're at the mercy of Apple. And I'm not making any particular statement here. It was just interesting to notice. And I see this type of structure all over our society these days. The monopoly, it all funnels to one company at the top. It all funnels to one bank at the top. It all funnels to one group making the decisions for everybody at the bottom. And I know not all my followers are in America, but isn't this why this country was founded in the first place? To have freedom of choice? Just some food for thought. And this is so timely with Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto showing us the underbelly of Aquarius, the world of technology. And so I digress. I tried to share the link to this interview in my Insight Timer group, but anything with a link is automatically deleted there. So if you haven't watched the little clip and you want to watch it, you can search Christopher Plowman on LinkedIn and just check it out for yourself. I see Sweat's watched it, Melinda's watched it, noticed that too. Jacqui agrees about the news anchor. It's just interesting. And I like to ask, where are their motives coming from? The news anchor is doing his job, right? So he's being compensated by someone to do his job. So who's doing the compensating? Who's suggesting what he say? Who's like flavoring what he say? That's just some food for thought. Again, I'm not trying to like make a statement here. It was just interesting and I wanted to share it with you guys. Jen says, yes, so sad the greed that goes on, and good for Insight Timer for standing up for all the teachers and the community of Insight Timer. Grateful I have an Android. So he actually was very elegant in his delivery. And he mentioned, he's like, I have no problem, no problem, paying Apple 30% of our subscription revenue, because that's a digital service, you know, like people are coming to this app to use this platform, so 30% of that. But then when it comes down to like the donations, like an individual person gifting a teacher for their time and their wisdom and their knowledge, and it's just, where does Apple come into that? I don't know. It's the monopoly. I understand that they're delivering a platform for us, but like if you're going to monopolize all the platforms, like what the hell? Where else are we supposed to do this? Melinda says she searched Insight Timer CNBC on YouTube. Awesome, an easier way to search that. Connect the dots and follow the money. Yes, Jen? Charlotte, always follow the money. Most news today is owned by or greatly funded by Big Pharma. I turned off news a little while ago. Best decision I ever made. It's a whole thing. If you haven't seen my shocking video that I put on YouTube, I put it up there the new moon. So February 9th, it was the new moon. It's titled Points of Disagreement with the Mainstream Spiritual Community, and I talk much more candidly about this type of stuff. So check that out if you're curious. But today we're talking about 9 degrees of Pisces. 9 degrees of Pisces is in the hot seat for today. I have a lot to say, so I gotta get going on this. The Sun, Mercury, and Saturn are all conjunct at 9 degrees of Pisces. So if you'd like to use your chart to follow along for today, look for 9 degrees of Pisces. Pisces looks like opposite parentheses with a horizontal line. Pisces is in between the Aquarius squiggles and the Aries V. Pisces begins after Aquarius, the squiggles, and there's 30 degrees in each sign. So 9 degrees would be about a third of the way in. And please, when people join inevitably asking where we're looking in our chart, you can please let them know in the chat that we're looking for 9 degrees of Pisces. All right, so the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn. The Sun supercharges. Mercury represents our mind, communication. Saturn represents limits, boundaries, responsibilities. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac, linked to surrender, to letting go, to dropping into the flow, and detaching from control. So the first thing that came up after I started diving into all of this feels to me like Saturn's turning point. Saturn entered Pisces in March of 2023. He will be in Pisces until May of 2025. And these energies are quite contrary. Saturn is all about control, structure. Pisces is vast, like the ocean. It's flowy, mutable water. So when Saturn entered Pisces just about a year ago, I borrowed Molly McCord's description of tough, stern, father-like Saturn walking into a Pisces nightclub. The music is bumping, the lights are low, and Saturn walks into Pisces, immediately turns on the lights, sends people home, and says no to this flowy way of living. Saturn comes to control. And I knew that this would shift. I knew that Saturn would lighten up during his time through Pisces, and I believe that it is beginning with this conjunction. Here we have the power in numbers. It's not anymore just Saturn dominating Pisces. We have Mercury and the Sun are here with him. In Pisces, right? So power in numbers. There's more planets in Pisces than Saturn would have control over Pisces. So the Sun and Mercury are here with Saturn. Mercury may be dinky, but let yourself think about how much we let our mind make decisions for us. How easy it is to let the mind run our lives. And the sun is here supercharging this Pisces energy. Another reason why I see a shift in Saturn is that he is about to enter the second decan of Pisces. So each zodiac sign is made up of 30 degrees. And each chunk of 10 degrees is a decan. So 0 to 9 of a sign is the first decan, 10 to 19 is the second, and then 20 to 29 is the third decan. And a basic way to describe these decans, these chunks, is that the first blends with the energy of the previous sign. The second decan is true to its sign, and then the third decan blends with the upcoming sign. So this is a sidetrack, but this is why people say that April Tauruses and May Tauruses are way different. Why September Libras and October Libras are way different. They're feeling into the difference of the decans. First 10 degrees, middle 10, last 10. So back to Saturn. For just about the last year, Saturn has been in the first decan of Pisces, blending this Aquarius Pisces energy. So Aquarius is logic, science, intellect. These energies were helping Saturn stay masculine, stay rigid, stay protective. And the Sun and Mercury now are ushering Saturn into the second decan of Pisces. Actually, this just came through. It's not in my notes, but I was talking about, what was I talking about? It was during the full moon, how we had, was it during the full moon? I was talking about 16 candles. The scene in the very beginning where the two parents are pushing their son into the school dance. That's kind of what I feel with the Sun and Mercury, because they're going to speed past Saturn. Saturn moves much more slowly than the Sun and Mercury. So I see these two parents coming behind Saturn like, all right, get in there and then, follow us, catch up with us. So I feel this Sun and Mercury ushering Saturn into the second decan of Pisces. And this is where it's a very Pisces energy. And this is where I believe Saturn will make a shift from controlling your spirituality, structuring your surrender, and he'll flip towards surrendering control, dissolving boundaries. So instead of putting the Saturn word before Pisces, I feel like we're now shifting to put the Pisces word before Saturn. I hope you are on the same wavelength as me. This was coming through very strongly this morning. Saturn enters 10 degrees of Pisces, so technically entering the second decan on March 2nd, so just in a few days. Saturn will make his way all the way up to 19 degrees of Pisces by July 1st, but he doesn't want to leave that second decan. He's going to retrograde back through the second decan, station direct in mid-November. So he's going to be in this second decan, this Pisces of Pisces energy, until February 24th, 2025. So this is not at all where I thought I was going to take today's talk about the Sun, Mercury, Saturn conjunction, but this is what was coming through. So we've now had just about a year where Saturn was trying to enforce his logical boundaries on the flow of our life. And now he's going to start to allow his softer side to come out. He's more willing to allow the Pisces energy to take over his rigidness, to dissolve his rigidness. And as I was making my notes, I was realizing that I often describe astrology using the planets as characters, and I tell their story. But I do so as a metaphor for the different parts of ourselves, because the whole universe is in you. And you have a Saturn part of yourself. You have a Pisces part of yourself. And last year, it may have felt more rigid than normal. You may have felt the need to schedule your meditation time, to plan out your strategy to let go of what no longer serves you. But today's conjunction really feels like the catalyst to a year of surrendering the need to control, submitting to the flow of the universe. And wow, do I feel a wave of lightness coming over me. Mercury is here with Saturn right now, and I'm feeling like there's a meeting going on between the two. Like Saturn is giving Mercury the lowdown, the next playbook, cluing in our mind that it's okay to surrender for a whole year. For a whole year, Saturn is moving through the second decan of Pisces. Wow! I need this right now. I've been feeling so structured, so rigid, and it's not feeling good anymore. So I'm super excited for this. And we had a big storm here last night, Northern Illinois. And I knew that it was significant energetically. I knew that it was significant physically because this was the first time I could ever remember tornado sirens sounding outside of the routine test times. Everything's fine. Everyone that I know is safe, so, we're all good. But I stood looking out my open window at the abundant lightning. It was like lightning every 5 seconds for an hour or two. And I felt the strong winds blowing into my house, the winds of change, and the waters of the storm coming to wash away the old. The lightning, think about the tower card, the lightning coming to strike the old rickety tower. So something is changing with this conjunction, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I have a really good feeling about the coming months. And then personally, by knowing which house in your birth chart holds 9 degrees of Pisces, you can have an idea for which area of life may be asking you to drop the control, to dissolve the limitations, to surrender to the flow. Oh, thank you, Sweat. You are impressively poetic. I see Kirby just threw in their 11th house. That's your hopes and dreams for the future. Are you ready to just say, all right, universe, surprise me? Jacqui's 7th house. Drop the control of how other people interact with you, your relationships with other people. Just the line of 2 and 3 is right at 9 degrees. So that would be your 3rd house. 3rd house is your mind. Surrender to the belief systems that you may have been carrying. 9th house is your expansion. 9th house is like looking for the bigger purpose of life, wandering and exploring through the information, wandering through spirituality and religion. So maybe allow yourself to dive into things that you never thought you would dive into. Release the control of like, ooh, I don't go there. I don't touch that. 5th house, Michelle. 5th house is your house of self-expression. Maybe it's time to stop being such an adult. It's time to surrender to play. Allow play to take over. Melinda, 6th house is your daily routine. 6th house is also health. So, depending on how it's sitting with you, 6th house can be asking you to let go of having such rigid structure in your day, allowing more flow through your everyday. And also health, if you're fear-based with your health and you're trying to control your diet, control your exercise, I feel like this is telling you to take a little bit more of an intuitive approach to your health. Kirby, no, not ready. Is it happening anyway? Yes. Hannah, 10th house. Oh, this feels so nice. 10th house is the house that's ruled by Saturn. So your 10th house is your responsibilities, your limitations, your boundaries. So it's pretty vast, like we're responsible for a whole lot of stuff in our lives, especially when we turn into these things called adults that I still don't want to be. So Saturn dissolving some boundaries, somewhere where you feel like you can't go that far, you can't stay out that late, you can't enjoy yourself for that long. That's what came through. 10th house can also be linked to your career. So maybe this is time to, the days you need to leave early, just leave early. Sweat, 9 degrees of Pisces. Which house? If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I recently posted another video on my YouTube channel, how to find a planet or point in your natal chart. So you can watch that, and that will show you how to find planets or points in your chart if you're not sure. 9 degrees of Pisces. We're looking for where 9 degrees of Pisces is in our chart. I see Nicole said first house, and also Stacy, this is conjunct your ascendant. Stacy, is it directly conjunct your ascendant, or is it in your 12th house or in your first house, like right around there? First house, Nicole, dropping the limitations of your personality. This feels like super true authenticity. Dissolving the boundaries of how you think you have to act, how you think you have to present yourself. Same with you, Stacy. Yeah. Conjunct your ascendant too, that's like dissolving, giving a flying truck about what anyone thinks. This is who I am. Sorry. Not sorry. Brian Coulter is another astrologer I watch, and his interpretation, he says this comment, it's about Aquarius energy, but this is relevant. He always says, if you like me, that's great. If not, that's interesting. And I love that, and I feel that so much, and that's like the theme of authenticity. If you like me, cool. If not, that's interesting. I don't care, but interesting. We could see that lightning show from here, Madison area, southern Wisconsin. The storms missed us. Glad you are all safe and well. Mimi says second house Aquarius, third house for Pisces, but 9 degrees of Pisces looks more like the second house. Should I interpret it as second? It's hard to say because there's like so many different ways to read your astrology chart online. Yes, if 9 degrees of Pisces is in your second house, that could mean, if it says third Pisces, that could mean that your third house is ruled by Pisces, because the third house begins in Pisces. But that could be that it begins after 9 degrees, thus putting 9 degrees of Pisces in your second house. So second house is your resources. It's calling in tangible resources. It's your skills also. It's what you value. So dissolving the boundaries of what you can do with your skills, what you can do with your resources, where you can find resources. It's not all about making a salary paycheck, guys. There's so many ways that you can utilize your skills to call in extra stuff. And it's not as difficult as we're conditioned to think that it is. Fifth house, we talked about play and self-expression. Christine, we haven't talked about the 12th house. Saturn and Pisces in the 12th house. Oh my God, the 12th house is so vast. The 12th house is where we go to surrender. So I feel like this is like a strictness that you may have been feeling about, like, well, I have to get rid of this fear, and I have to get rid of this childhood belief, and I have to get rid of the trauma from this event. Maybe just let it go. Just let the universe show you what is on time, what you're supposed to be letting go of. Diana, 4th house is your home. 4th house is your family of origin. Do you have expectations on your family of origin nowadays? It might be time to let go of what you're expecting from them. Christine dropping in to say hello. We're traveling. Wish I had my chart right now. Christine, this is probably your first house. First or second. So it's either your personality that you're letting go of boundaries on, or your resources, but I'm pretty sure it's your first. Yes. Yes, Pam. 9 degrees of Pisces. Thank you, Christine, for happy birthday to Piston. All right, I'm going to move to the cards now, and we are going to use 2 different decks to ask 2 different questions. Hi, Greg. Showed up just in time for the cards. Excuse me. Greg, didn't you just have a birthday? Happy belated birthday. We are going to use... I had another belch coming, but it didn't come. We're going to use the Healing Waters Oracle. Happy belated, the 25th, Greg. We're going to ask, what is being washed away from Saturn in Pisces? So as Saturn moves from this first decan to the second decan, what is being washed away from this limiting, bounded Saturn energy? I always do group readings, but I promise they're perfect. Feel free to send your energy into this deck. And we're asking, what is being washed away from Saturn in Pisces? I will allow 3 cards to fall out of the deck for us. And then I will show you the backs of the 3 cards. So you're going to be seeing the same image 3 times, this watery image. It's the back of the card. The image won't change. But I invite you to tune into your intuition to see if anything feels different with a card, if anything changes in your physical environment, if your house creaks, if your doorbell rings, if your phone rings when I hold up a certain card, if your leg twitches, if you cough, if you sneeze. If you just know a number between 1 and 3 right now, that could be your claircognizance turning on, becoming active. And the whole reading is for everyone. Like, it all just holds the perfect message that we need to hear right now. That sounded a little conceited coming out, but I've been doing this for quite some time on Insight Timer, and it continually blows my mind how accurate these messages are. The whole reading's for all of us, so if you don't feel anything, your intuition's not broken. It's just that the whole reading holds an equal amount of importance. And if you notice something, then that message might be a little bit stronger for you. Okay, so this is not exact, but like, look at the card back, and then I'm looking at this, hold on, I'm holding this like an idiot. And then I'm looking at this calendar that I have, Pisces. I just think that looks interesting. It's very similar. This is an astrology calendar that I use. This is how I read my astrology, guys. In case you were wondering, this is what the brain of Jacqui looks like. And that's how I pick my Insight Timer sessions. But yeah, it looks just like the card back, which I thought was cool. Okay. I'll show you the backs of the cards and then let us know which cards are resonating more strongly than the others. What is being washed away from Saturn in Pisces? Here's the back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Let us know which cards are resonating more strongly, if any, and I will show you the backs of the cards one more time. The back of card number 1. The back of card number 2. And the back of card number 3. Greg, I like how you're asking pretty please, like I'm not gonna read them all. Jennifer's working with all 3, Nicole 2 and 3, Mimi 3, Yvonne 3, Michelle all 3, Rochelle 2 and 3, Andriana all, Mary Alice 1 and 3, Natalie 3 with a heart, Nicole 2 with a heart, Kirby 1, Jackie 2, Greg all 3, Michelle 2, Stacy 2, Lori 3, Heather 2 and 3, Mary 1 and 2, Leah 2 and 3, Melinda 2 and 3, Gloria 1, Nancy 1 and 2, Melissa all 3, Lash 2, Key 2 and 3, April 1, Tracy 2, Chantel 1, Body 2, Spirit 3, Mind. Cool. Sweat doesn't know today. I would just take all 3 then, just see what resonates. Jen 1 and 2, 2 a very strong reaction. Jess 3, Christine all 3, Pam 3, Christine all 3, Diane all 3. Am I the only one who saw the pattern flowing and dancing? It's not uncommon, it happens all the time. Anna 1, Legs, 2 heart rate up, 3 earth vibrations. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. I opened right to the page of card 1, so that's cool. We're asking, what is being washed away from Saturn and Pisces? Card number 1 brings us the Well Maidens. Kindness, respect, reverence, and compassion. And this card feels familiar. I feel like this one has come up multiple times. Throughout history, there have been people who have tended to and protected our life-giving wells. In the lands of what is today the United Kingdom and Europe, many of these sacred wells were named after goddesses, including Brigid, Danu, Solis, and Anu, before they were absorbed by Christianity. If you sit at these wells, you may feel the wisdom of these ancient peoples echoing on in these waters, which remain protected. Oh gosh. The Elucidation is an old poem that tells of guardians who fulfilled this holy role across the land. A greedy king and his men violated the Well Maidens, the gardens of the kingdom's wells. I'm just going to start that part over. That word threw me off. Elucidation. The Elucidation is an old poem that tells of guardians who fulfilled this holy role across the land. A greedy king and his men violated the Well Maidens, the guardians of the kingdom's wells, and took more than they needed. They ignored the sacred contract of respecting the Well Maidens and the water of the sacred wells, and as a result, the kingdom became desolate and barren. The Well Maidens are the keepers of harmony and balance. They respect the sacred waters, and as a result, they give plenty. They deliver a message about the importance of these qualities in the way we treat ourselves, others, and the nature that sustains and supports us. They remind us to slow down and offer kindness and respect to others, the earth, and ourselves, each and every day. 2 soul inquiry questions with this card. Sorry, just one. How can you offer kindness and respect to yourself, the earth, and others today? So what's being washed away from Saturn and Pisces? I feel this is like fear. Fear-based limits. Fear-based protection structure. Like you're fearing that you are this Well Maiden and there's someone who's going to come in and take your reserve. And what's being washed away from that is the fear that you need to protect yourself. Because I'm feeling like the universe is just going to support you. And the more you put out this kindness and offering, the more will come back to you. So I hope that resonates. This feels like a fear is being washed away from whatever house Saturn is in right now, 9 degrees of Pisces. Greg, how dare they? Oh, he's dreaming. Here he goes. He's chasing away the king's men for us. We don't have to take care of it. There's people on the energetic level doing that for us. Hey, get away. Get away from my well maidens. Card number 2. What else is being washed away from Saturn in Pisces? This card came up the last time we pulled from this deck. It's the Wellspring. What are you thirsty for? Body care? Take a breath. We don't only need water to thrive. We need it to survive. The Wellspring card often appears when things are unbalanced or when we've been pushing ourselves beyond our limits in ways that are simply unsustainable. Just like the seasons around us, we too are cyclical, and thus we must pay attention to where we're expecting ourselves to be in full bloom all year round. While we can rely on our reserves for a limited amount of time, if we allow ourselves to become depleted over a long period, to run on empty, it'll likely take longer to recover than it ever did before. We must embrace our humanity and take care of the body by slowing down, quenching our thirst, and finding ways to recover and deeply rest. The Wellspring card is an invitation to look at where you've been going into overdrive, to reflect on the areas where you've been pushing yourself beyond your physical limits, to consider whether you've been forcing yourself to run on your reserves. It delivers a message to reassess the speed and force you're using, to bring more harmony and balance back into your life, and to trust your inner seasons, to look after yourself and appreciate your precious body. 3 soul inquiry questions. Where are you pushing yourself beyond your limits? How are you being called to care more for your body? What are you really, truly thirsty for? What's being washed away from Saturn in Pisces with this card? The limits you've placed on yourself, the structures that you've convinced yourself that you have to meet in order to deserve a rest, in order to deserve a break. This feels like letting go of the structure that you feel like you have to get to step 10 before you deserve a potty break. It's a joke. Someone here, they tell me that they used to motivate themselves by saying all right, when I finish this, I get to go use the bathroom. I can't go pee until I finish this task. Greg, letting go of the shoulds. Yes, I should put in 8 hours of work before I can take a day off. I should do this before I can take care of myself. I feel like we're surrendering the goalpost, essentially. That's you, Bonnie. Bonnie used to reward herself with pee breaks. We're surrendering the need to meet a certain expectation before we take care of ourselves. This is helping us come into that fuller knowing and flowing with, okay, my body needs this right now, I'm going to give my body this. Once I fill myself up, then I'll have some more in my reserves to go do what I'm supposed to be doing, Who says I'm supposed to be doing it anyway? Melinda resonates for you too. You also reward yourself with potty breaks. That's so funny. That's not me at all. I don't know. I like to be lazy. I will gladly. Why do you push pee breaks? Because it keeps you motivated. Darlene says, this so resonates. I've been pushing myself so hard and have been resetting how far you push yourself. Resonates for Greg. Melinda, love that. Resetting how far you've been pushing yourself. It's a process. It can be difficult, especially depending on how long you've been doing it and how deep the belief is that you have to be good enough. You have to accomplish this before you get this reward. It's just interesting. Greg, gosh, this really hits regarding all the emotions flowing with my friend's cancer prognosis. Interesting. Do you feel like you have to be there for them to a certain extent before you can lay back and allow yourself to relax. It's interesting. Jen resonates. Listened to my body this morning and slept in past 5 a.m. as my body called me to rest. Yeah, I did that a couple days last week. I told you guys about it. And that's when you got Jacqui in the raw, because I rolled out of bed and came to Insight Timer. Anna, I have to pee right now. Does this mean I should go right now? What does your body want you to do for it right now? Does it want to relieve its bladder? That's really funny. Yeah, like holding yourself to super strict standards. That's what I feel like is being washed away. And maybe that's coming from the fear that if you don't hold yourself to these super strict standards, that someone's gonna swoop in and take everything that you've already created. I don't know. Let's see what card 3 says. Greg, no, I was feeling I have to work harder to be ready for her death instead of being my flowy, loving projector Pisces self. Interesting. Well, I'm just hearing projector Pisces. Okay, Pisces is the sign of surrender, so you're already equipped with the ability to like help her transition in a way. And the projector, you're here to guide her through it, so you're already equipped. This is just honoring who you are. I let that go yesterday. Of course you did. And now here's your affirmation. See, even Piston's waving to you. Yes, it's an affirmation. Let it go. Let it go, Greg. Christine says, Jen, that was me this morning, sleeping in past 5, and we were traveling with others, and I would usually make myself get up because they are not today. Hannah resonates with the boundaries with my work that are needed, as it's very overwhelming right now. Yeah, there comes a part in the process where it gets so incredibly difficult that like you just can't anymore. And it's not that you're being a wimp, it's not that you're being lazy, it's not that you are not trying. Like sometimes it just, you're way in over your head, and there's only so much control that we actually have in the 3D. There's only so much control that we actually have as humans. And sometimes, at the very end of the road, it's time to surrender to the universe and say, just surprise me. Surprise me with what you want this outcome to be. Because at this point, I can't do it anymore. Greg, it's more about my business and needing to move. That prepping. Interesting. We'll talk. Am I seeing you this week or next week? I'm seeing you soon, Greg. Last card, number 3. What is being washed away from Saturn in Pisces? It's March 6th. That's Greg. What's being washed away from Saturn in Pisces? I've never seen this card before. It's the pink dolphin. Celebration, fun, unbridled joy, and an open heart. A couple weeks ago, the pink unicorn came up, and I know that this is a pink dolphin, but you know, it's close enough. Close enough. Can the dolphin be considered the unicorn of the sea? The pink dolphin. The Amazon River dolphin, also known as the pink dolphin because of its unique pinkish coloring, is an endangered marine animal that lives in the fresh waters of the Amazon and Orinoco River basins in South America. I may have mispronounced that. Deeply revered, it's the subject of many local myths and legends. In one, it's said that if you go swimming alone, the pink dolphins may transport you to the magical underwater city of Encante. I just felt so dumb saying that. To be near dolphins is to experience a whole new level of play and joy. 5th house people, Saturn in Pisces, 5th house. 9 degrees of Pisces, 5th house. This is a card of welcoming more joy into your life, to opening your heart and mind to new experiences and prioritizing happiness and fun, to prioritizing play and taking time off from the monotony of our everyday lives, to play like a child without being attached to the outcome. How can you welcome more joy into your life? What can you do just for fun? What do you want to celebrate? This card is a wonderful one to receive and is always an invitation to stop being so serious, to play and to have more fun. Excuse me. When we play, we're able to release the pressures and stress that we are carrying and switch off. Often when we do this, the two hemispheres of the brain can make connections and solutions that we previously couldn't see flowing in. The soul inquiry question for this card: how can you welcome more joy into your life? He's loving this card. He's loving it so much. He's got a wonky eye. What's being washed away from Saturn is his rigidness. It's his need to have to structure life. You have to show up at this time. You have to do it this way. Dinner has to be ready at this time. The dishes have to be done and put away. Let it go. It's time to play. It's time to flow. It's time to Pisces, like a dolphin. If I had to assign the dolphin to any zodiac sign, it would be Pisces. It's time to just relax, go with the flow, do what feels good. I love that. Narwhal. Did I say something wrong? I don't think narwhal was in there. Be a dolphin. Just let things slide right off. Yes, like your obligations and your structures, right? I'm going to read some comments and then I'll go back. The pink dolphins are cute. Wait, what did I say about the narwhal? The unicorn of the sea is the narwhal. Okay, thank you. Thank you. But a pink dolphin, I mean, it's pretty close. You see the snouts on the dolphin? It looks like a unicorn. Jen, Christine, I hear you on that. Intended to be traveling weather. Was to be nasty, winds, bad roads, and the friend I'm staying with said, no, you are staying one more day as I didn't have to leave. And I accepted that care, love, and let go of control that I would have had before of I'll be fine. Yes, I love that. Letting go of control. I think that's the message of today. We're just letting go of all the control. That sounds scary. Letting go of all the control. Oh, pink. Did pink say that? I like pink. Screw it, I'm gonna play today and celebrate surrendering. Yes, I have something to say about that, and I've been talking about this stuff a lot. Alice, I see butterflies all the time, and spiritually they mean lighten up. Love that. Dolphins are one of my spirit animals, Jen. Lash, that's awesome. I feel more relaxed today. Hooray for fun, playfulness, laughter, teasing, humor, celebrate. Nancy, I'll answer your question in just a second. What did I just read about fun? Oh yeah, play, celebrate, surrender. So, wow, this makes sense because Mercury is here in this conjunction today too. So Mercury is the mind. Mercury is your processing power, your structuring power. The mind is overused in humans, I believe. I believe that we use the mind to dictate our lives when the mind is really meant to organize information. Where am I going with this? There's 3 states of being. There's active time, where you are outputting information, teaching what you know, using the stuff that's already in your brain to create something. There's passive time, where you are intaking, you're learning, you're studying, you're researching. The third is neutral time, which I believe is what play would be considered. It's when you turn your mind off, you're not putting anything out, you're not taking anything in, you're just letting everything settle. Yesterday, for the first time in a very long time, I went for a walk. I've walked, but I walked by myself at a forest preserve, and it's been a long time. I usually go with friends or with a group, or I take 1 or more dogs. And it was just me, and I was in the forest, and I felt like I was playing again. And I had a chiropractor appointment afterwards, but there was something about, I was just like, I don't care. I knew I had enough time, and I was like, if I'm late, I'm late. It's fine. And that's not me at all. I love being on time. If you guys have ever worked with me, like, you know, I'm always right on time. I'm never late. And I just got to play. And it came to a point where I was like crying walking up this big hill, and I was like, I just feel like a kid again. I don't have to entertain anyone. I don't have to listen to anyone. I don't have to take on other people's problems right now. Like, I'm just playing in nature and I'm gonna explore. And this is a place where I go often, and I often take the same loop because I walk with friends and it's just easier. We just know where we're going. But this place is very vast and it has multiple trails and hills and foresty parts. And I literally went backwards through a way that I normally go. Whatever. It was just fun to play. And that's where your mind is cleared so that you can be shown answers that you've been looking for. Because the mind is limited. We don't have the mental capacity to think our way through life. When the mind is full, the messages can't get in. So you have to give yourself that neutral time. And it doesn't always have to be play. I'm just focusing on play because of this card. It can be doing the dishes. It could be folding the laundry. It could be cleaning your house. Anything where you're not teaching or learning, where you're not creating or researching. Neutral time. That's where, yeah. Forest bathing, Michelle. Yes. Let's all sing the Frozen song, Let It Go, says Greg. That's on my Pisces playlist. If you guys want some extra Pisces energy to let this stuff go, head into my link tree. Free Spotify Pisces playlist. It's just fun songs that feel like Pisces energy to me, so it can get you in that feel of letting it go. It's okay. Flow. Even if you don't pay for Spotify, you can still listen to the playlist with ads. So, Sophia's loving the playlist. Bye, Christine. We'll see you soon. I have one more deck, and I don't know which one I want to use. Yes. Christine, I was going to use this deck, but I'm not going to. Christine gifted me this spirit animal oracle, and I've only used it a handful of times, and I had it, and I was like, maybe I'll use it, but actually, since Christine is about to leave, I'm not going to use it because she's the reason why I have that deck. So we're going to use the Animal Apothecary. Christine, now that you see it, are you going to stay? I've already made my decision. Okay. We focused a lot on Saturn today, but Saturn is meeting up with the Sun and Mercury, which I barely even talked about, but that's what came through. So we're going to ask the Animal Apothecary deck for a message from the Sun and Mercury. What are they bringing to the party here? We've been talking a lot about how Saturn is moving from the first decan of Pisces to the second decan of Pisces. And I realized I've switched between saying decan and deacon. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. The first third of Pisces to the second third of Pisces. But like the Sun and Mercury are involved as well. So what do they have to say today about this big conjunction at 9 degrees of Pisces? If you've been enjoying today's session, if you would like to offer an energy exchange in the form of a donation, they are always appreciated. If you haven't yet followed me on Insight Timer, please consider doing so. You can see when my sidekick posts all my classes. Our friend Jackie here takes care of a lot of that work for me. Super appreciate her. If you came in a little bit late and you want to see the astrology update that I gave for the first 20-30 minutes of this session, this replay will be on my YouTube channel a little bit later today. So you can just search my name on YouTube and I come right up. If you want a replay of, if you want a review of the cards, my friend Bonnie helps me in our spiritual community. It's the group that I have on Insight Timer. She takes the card books and puts them in text in our spiritual community, so you can always reread what the card descriptions were. You can get there through my Insight Timer bio. It should be right there, right on the homepage. Our spiritual community is the name of the group. And if you want to see all of the 1,500 projects I have going on right now, my link tree is inside my Insight Timer bio as well. There you can sign up for my newsletter. You can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all the things. 9 degrees, geesh. That's on top of my Mars, Sun, and Chiron in the 12th. Letting go of a lot of control. A lot of the control to like the which card was it? The Wellspring. We're talking about how like you feel like you have to get to a certain point before you can relax. I'm feeling Chiron with that, Greg. Mars is like, I have to do it. I have this energy, this ambition, this motivation. Chiron is to heal. And the Wellspring says it's okay. Even if you're not 100% healed, you still get to take a nap. You still get to have that hot bath that you like so much. How do you get to the Pisces playlist? Jill, if you go into my Insight Timer teacher profile and click on my face, that's on the bottom right-hand corner, in the About or Bio section, there's a link for my link tree. It'll be like right on the top. You'll see it. It says free Pisces playlist. Love that Bonnie does that. So wonderful to be able to look over it and absorb even more. Beautiful. I love that. Jackie, does the app still crash for you? Are you at a different Jackie? Because that's not how you spell my name. This is a message from the Sun and Mercury, who are also at 9 degrees of Pisces with Saturn. It's card number 8. Small steps, big accomplishments, from Turtle. Sea turtles migrate thousands of miles each year while swimming at a slow, methodical pace. The key medicine is that what you wish to manifest will take dedicated, consistent, and patient effort. Land Turtle reinforces this message about the slow process toward your desire, further speaking to us about how grounded this point of view is. Nothing represents being grounded quite like the land turtle, built sturdy and close to Mother Earth. Small, consistent efforts will lead to long-lasting success. Be patient. Do not rush for immediate rewards. Understand that immediate gratification cannot sustain what is needed for long-term success. Shortcuts yield short-term successes, and instant gratification is for the weak mind. Sea turtle is not instantly born in the sea swimming towards his goal. He first must build his muscles by slowly breaking out of the shell and journeying toward his desire to be in the great sea. Allow things to develop at their own pace and plan for a lengthy dedication toward your goal. This is a very promising card as it speaks to happy results. You are building something great, and its full fruition needs time. Turtle's medicine shares that slow and steady efforts are of the most importance to you. Something powerful is in development. What is built slowly stands longer. So it's interesting that this message of slow and steady wins the race is coming from the Sun and Mercury, because the Sun and Mercury move super fast through the sky. The Sun is moving 1 degree a day. But I think it's so interesting that they are bringing this message the day that they're meeting up with Saturn. It's almost like Saturn is passing off a little bit of his rigidity onto the quickly moving Sun and Mercury, saying, slow your roll, right? Here we go again. That came up right when we started this session. Slow the racing thoughts. It's okay to see the big picture. Shine your sun light on the big picture. But it's like the Sun and Mercury have already taken that message from Saturn. Like it's you just got to do one step at a time, and that's okay. And I've actually had multiple dreams lately where I love these kind of dreams because I just feel like they're so I don't even know how to describe them. I feel like I'm getting lessons. Like I feel like I'm in a school of the universe, and like it's not me, it's very energetic. I don't remember the whole dream, but I remember the feel. And I've had multiple dreams lately where I keep seeing the timeline, and I see where I am now, and I can see how small the step looks, but there's a trust that it's bringing you exactly what you want. And it can be difficult when we have that tunnel vision, when all we see is this is what I'm doing today and this is all that's changing. It's just a little bit, but it's building and building and building and building. And think about, this speaks to our modern day society, right? And I'm thinking specifically about manufactured houses. Houses built in the 1800s, Victorian style houses, they're still standing. They're great quality. You just got to update them and they're awesome. Nowadays, we manufacture houses. They just bring a bunch of pre-made walls together and they throw it up and they make it look giant and brand new, but then it sucks and it's not built correctly. When you take time and you put intention and effort into each step, it's just so much stronger and more viable, and it's built to last, right? Nowadays, the weak-minded need that instant gratification, and you know, I see it in myself sometimes. I see that if something isn't happening as fast as I want it to, I'm like, what the heck? Why isn't it working? But turtle energy really wants to work with us today. Quality over quantity, 100%. Anik, I'm becoming so impatient and despondent. Where am I really going? This is where living intentionally can benefit you. So looking like, where are you going? Where do you want to go? Do that thing where you journal as if you're already living your dream reality. Or you can hop into my Patreon. Actually, it's in my link tree, the I Am ritual. We meditate into, this is what my dream reality is. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, how am I feeling? All right, how do I get to there now? If you did that I Am ritual, I did it like the first week of January. So if it's time to redo it, it's only $8 on my Patreon page. If you have an idea of where you want to go, you get to choose if your actions nowadays are bringing you to that place. Instead of just flopping around like a fish out of water, like, oh, I know I'm supposed to be doing this. I know I have this limitation on me. I know I'm supposed to be showing up for work from 9 to 5, and then I'm supposed to be making dinner for my family, and then I'm supposed to be paying all my bills, but like, what the heck am I even doing this for? Are these small actions bringing me to where I want to be? Or am I just doing it because I'm supposed to be doing it? Because I'm afraid that if I don't do it, Big Brother's gonna come in and steal everything that I've worked for. This leaves room for play. If you know it's the small steps that make big accomplishments, it takes some pressure off of having to sprint your way through the marathon of life. When you're able to feel into the truth of this card, you know that you can make 1 or 2 small steps a day and then spend your time playing, because I know I'm on my path to the bigger place. Michelle's been seeing turtles a lot lately. Is this a good time to look for a new job? Like asking people for job opportunities. I think it's always a good time to look for a new job. I think with the North Node in Aries since July, it's a really good time to figure out how to make your own money. Joy healing from emergency surgery, giving into the experience of my body's experience of recovery at my body's own pace. The turtle is the perfect message for me. Yes. Yes, there's a Native American creation story in which they call the Earth Turtle Island. Yes. You know, so I have a tortoise, a box turtle. She's a box turtle. And I was very upset because I counted the spots on her shell. And there's supposed to be, the turtle shell is supposed to be like the perfect calendar. There's supposed to be 13 on the inside and 28 on the outside, representing the 13 months. The Gregorian calendar is messed up. And the 28 for the days of the moon cycle on the outside. My box turtle has 13 and 24. So I don't know what that means. That's it. Jen loved this card, deeply resonates. My best friend's phrase is slow your roll, especially to her 5-year-old grandson. Lori loves it. Christine, prophetic message. Yeah, it felt great, that dream, those dreams. Turtle trusts the journey. Perfect metaphor. I've been feeling turtly slow and without a plan. You get to make a plan. You are in control of what happens to your life. Not fully. We co-create, so there's a little bit of push and pull. Co-create. I got the I Am ritual on Patreon. It's awesome. Thanks, Heather. There's a link for it right in my link tree. Gotta go, Bonnie. Love you. Jackie, I've had that ritual on my to-do list to redo. Tracy, thank you so much for your donation. Love it, love it. February born turtle? Yeah, she's working without the leap year energy. Thank you for the reminder, Greg. I just want to make a comment before I skedaddle. If you guys are familiar with Molly McCord, she's an astrologer. She has a podcast, but I watch all of her stuff on YouTube. She posts 2 videos a week. A little while ago, I'm going to type her name in the chat in case you don't know who she is. Molly McCord. A little while ago, she made a video about leap year being the time traveler's portal. And she gives a lot of really nice thought out research about how February 29th, using the Gregorian calendar, has been used as a day for time travelers to enter in and out. And she made a 2-part video about this. The first part is really what I'm directing you guys towards. The second part gets a little like woo-woo. Oh, Nancy, thank you for the reminder. The first part is very concrete about how you can use tomorrow's energy to transport yourself to whatever life you want. And I'm going to leave it at that. Use it intuitively. If you want to watch Molly McCord's video, it's on YouTube. Nancy, Pisces in the 8th house. All right, sorry, I forgot about that. 9 degrees of Pisces in the 8th house. So we're turning to surrender. So letting go of the limitations of, okay, so 8th house is shared resources. So this could be either like how much you're giving into a resource that you share with someone, or how much you're taking out of how much you share with someone. And the limitation of like, it has to be this way. But the 8th house is also, it's intimacy. Are you setting a limit on how vulnerable you're showing? How much vulnerability you're showing? That could be starting to dissolve. 8th house is transformation. So it could be, are you setting a limit on like how low you'll let yourself go energetically? Because you have to go all the way to the bottom before you can go all the way up. Resonates, Nancy. Beautiful. Thank you for reminding me. Your son's wedding anniversary is the 29th. I love that. So interesting. Well, everybody, when am I back? I will be back on Friday. I'll be back on Friday this week, 8:15 Central Time, just like always. Over the weekend, Venus and Uranus are making a square, so we'll talk about that on Friday. Chandra, my recording will be posted within a couple hours. I always, I close the Insight Timer session and I get right to work, and then just depending if stuff takes over. And then it takes some time to upload on YouTube, so probably within the next 2-3 hours. But thank you guys for being here today. I will see you on Friday. Sending love to all. Namaste. I'm glad Piston was able to join us today. Take care. I hope that video was just as insightful for you as it was for all of us. Darla and I really appreciate you being here with me. Thank you for liking this video, sharing it with a friend who you think would benefit, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, drop a comment and let us know what you got from this video. What was your biggest insight or takeaway? If you want to see what else I'm working on, click on my link tree. It's right underneath this YouTube video. We'll see you next time. Take care.